So, welcome everybody to day 28 of book reading, A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. Is the notion of success just an egoic illusion? How do we measure true success? The world will tell you that success is achieving what you set out to do. It will tell you that success is winning, that finding recognition and or prosperity are essential ingredients in any success. All or some of the above are usually byproducts of success, but they are not success. The conventional notion of success is concerned with the outcome of what you do. Some say that success is the result of a combination of hard work and luck, or determination and talent, or being in the right place at the right time. While any of these may be determinants of success, they are not its essence. What the world doesn't tell you because it doesn't know is that you cannot become successful. You can only be successful. Don't let a mad world tell you that success is anything other than a successful present moment. And what is that? There is a sense of quality in what you do, even the most simple action. Quality implies care and attention, which comes with awareness. Quality requires your presence. Let's say that you are a business person, and after 2 years of intensive stress and strain, you finally manage to come out with a product or service that sells well and makes money. Success? In conventional terms, yes. In reality, you spent 2 years polluting your body as well as the earth with negative energy, made yourself and those around you miserable, and affected many others you never even met. The unconscious assumption behind all such action is that success is a future event and that the need justifies the means. But the end and the means are one. And if the means did not contribute to human happiness, neither will the end. The outcome, which is inseparable from the actions that lead to it, is already contaminated by those actions and so will create further unhappiness. This is karmic action, which is the unconscious perpetuation of unhappiness. As you already know, your secondary or outer purpose lies within the dimension of time, while your main purpose is inseparable from the now and therefore requires the negation of time. How are they reconciled? By realizing that your entire life journey ultimately consists of the step you are taking at this moment. There is always only this one step. And so you give it your fullest attention. This doesn't mean you don't know where you are going. It just means this step is primary, the destination secondary. And what you encounter at your destination once you get there depends on the quality of this one step. Another way of putting it, what the future holds for you depends on your state of consciousness now. When doing becomes infused with the timeless quality of being, that is success. Unless being flows into doing, unless you are present, you lose yourself in whatever you do. You also lose yourself in thinking as well as in your reaction to what happens externally. So, it's very important to take note that whatever we feel, चाहे हमारा जो मर्जी गोल हो, the achievement of that goal is partial success. But the process of living each and every moment in the present moment as being successful means to be happy with that state of being or whatever is happening at that particular point of time. Because no matter what the end result says, if the means are not that satisfying, if the means are attached with a lot of negativity, negative vibes, negative energies, somehow the end gets contributed towards the negativity from the means, because you're moving from means to an end, and that end is probably your goal, or whatever is that you are looking for to achieve. But वो गोल जब भी आएगा, आप जो भी आपका एंड आपने सोचा है, for that particular goal, there have to there has to be a few certain steps that you need to take, and it's by step that you get to that end, and all these steps becomes your means towards that end. So these means are important in terms of contributing towards a good end. And we must also be very, very sure that we should not be too much attached with those means, because what we are looking for is the bigger picture. So rather than, just being lured by the means, we a lot of times forget the end, because we get so lured by those means. So those means are nothing but steps, and each step has its own success. And success is not the success we are talking, which is opposite to failure. That's an English language word. Success in spirituality means that we were able to gather ourselves, being in the moment, consciously aware. चाहे उसका आउटकम उस टाइम पे, there might have been a situation where you reacted, you had anger, but if you are present and you are able to get to know that you are getting angry and then make that choice, that's more important than anything else. Because at the end of the day, everything boils down to your awareness. Everything boils down to how present you are in this moment, because that's the success of this moment. And these small successes will eventually contribute towards the higher purpose, towards your outer purpose, towards probably a materialistic purpose. So, in these days, everybody says money is very important, but we need to be very, very clear. Money is not the end. Money is a mean to the end. So हमें उन means में नहीं attach होना है. Those means are there. We cannot ignore those means, because we have to go through those means towards the higher end, towards the end. But the moment we get so attached to those means, a lot of times we forget what is it our main purpose, what is it at the end of these means. And these means are nothing but a few success steps which you have to take by being present in that particular moment to achieve and live that moment fully conscious or consciously aware, so that that success does not get or attract a lot of negativity, which might actually influence the end goals negativity. What exactly do you mean when you say you lose yourself? The essence of who you are is consciousness. When consciousness, you, becomes completely identifying and identified with thinking, and thus forgets its essential nature, it loses itself in thought. When it becomes identified with mental emotional formations such as wanting and fearing, the primary motivating forces of the ego, it loses itself in those formations. Consciousness also loses itself when it identifies with acting and reacting to what happens. Every thought, every desire or fear, every action or reaction is then infused with a false sense of self that is incapable of sensing the simple joy of being and seeks pleasure and sometimes even pain as substitutes for it. This is living in forgetfulness of being. In that state of forgetfulness of who you are, every success is no more than a passing delusion. Whatever you achieve soon will be unhappy again, or some new problem or dilemma will draw your attention in completely. How do I go from realizing what my inner purpose is to finding out what I am supposed to do on the outer level? The outer purpose varies greatly from person to person, and no outer purpose lasts forever. It is subject to time and then replaced by some other purpose. The extent to which dedication to the inner purpose of awakening changes the external circumstances of your life also varies greatly. For some people, there is a sudden or gradual break with their past, their work, living situation, relationship. Everything undergoes profound change. Some of the change may be initiated by themselves, not only through an agonizing decision making process, but by a sudden realization or recognition. This is what I have to do. The decision arrives ready made, so to speak. It comes through awareness, not through thinking. You wake up one morning and you know what to do. Some people find themselves walking out of an insane work environment or living situations. So, before you discover what is right for you on the external level, before you discover what works, what is compatible with the awakening consciousness, you may have to find out what is not right, what no longer works, what is incompatible with your inner purpose. Other kinds of change may suddenly come to you from without. A chance meeting brings new opportunity and expansion into your life. A long standing obstacle or conflict dissolves. Your friends either go through this inner transformation with you or drift out of your life. Some relationships dissolve, others deepen. You may get laid off from your job or you become an agent for positive change at your workplace. Your spouse leaves you or you reach a new level of intimacy. Some changes may look negative on the surface, but you will soon realize that space is being created in your life for something new to emerge. There may be a period of insecurity and uncertainty. What should I do? As the ego is no longer running your life, the psychological need for external security, which is illusionary anyway, lessens. You are able to live with uncertainty and even enjoy it. When you become comfortable with the uncertainty, infinite possibilities open in your life. It means fear is no longer a dominant factor in what you do and no longer prevents you from taking action to initiate change. The Roman philosopher Tacitus rightly observed that the desire for safety stand against every great and noble enterprise. If uncertainty is unacceptable to you, it turns into fear. If it is perfectly acceptable, it turns into increased aliveness, alertness, and creativity. Many years ago, as a result of a strong inner impulse, I walked off out of an academic career that the world would have called promising, stepping into complete uncertainty. And out of that, after several years, emerged my new incarnation as a spiritual teacher. Much later, something similar happened again. The impulse to give up my home in England and move to the west coast of North America. I obeyed that impulse, although I didn't know the reason for it. Out of that move into uncertainty came the power of now, which most of it was written in California and British Columbia. While I didn't have a home of my own, I had virtually no income and lived on my savings, which were quickly running out. In fact, everything fell into place beautifully. I ran out of money just when I was getting close to finishing writing. I bought a lottery ticket and won $1,000, which kept me going for another month. Not everybody, whosoever, will have to go through drastic change in their external circumstance. At the end of the spectrum, you have people who stay exactly where they are and keep doing whatever they are doing. For them, only the how changes, not the what. This is not due to fear or inertia. What they are doing already is a perfect vehicle for consciousness to come into this world as and it needs no other. They true bring into manifestation the new earth. Whenever there is this element of uncertainty, you know, सारी चीजें वहां पे हम लोग ना मीन there's always a fear associated क्या होगा कैसे होगा ठीक होगा नहीं होगा बुरा तो नहीं होगा मैं सेफ रहूंगा मेरा सर्वाइवल क्या होगा so all elements of when it comes to a future event actually boils down to that insecurity and that deep down innate fear of what will happen. The whole issue is if you are clear with what is going to happen, is going to happen for my best and highest interest. I'm repeating, if you are clear with this notion that whatever happens is for my best and highest interest, you will always program yourself to look for what is good in whatever has happened. It's a very simple example. In order to use your mind towards your benefit, you can always program it. And you can always program it to become at ease with the uncertainty by throwing in this intention that whatever is going to happen is going to happen for my best and highest interest. And the mind will actually work with you. That's the power of the mind. Okay, let's do a small example. So wherever you are, just be comfortable. Close your eyes. Take 3 nice deep breaths. Inhale the positivity and exhale all the negativity. And get down to regular breathing. We're doing a small study and an example to study the power of the mind. So now, please instruct your individual minds to think of anything else except a pink elephant. You can think, the mind can now think of anything and everything in the world except pink elephant. Whatever is there in the world other than the pink elephant, we are now instructing our mind to only focus on that and do not think, imagine, or visualize about a pink elephant. Whatever you do, you will not let your mind, you will not let the mind get to visualize, imagine a pink elephant. Back to the class, back to the body, back to the here and now. How many of you saw a pink elephant?
I did.
Everybody does.
I was trying to take my mind off, but when we spoke about the pink elephant, it just came.
So that's actually what happens. When we instruct the mind towards doing something, it will actually focus on that. अभी हमने पूरा उसको इंस्ट्रक्ट किया कि भैया ये इसके बारे में नहीं सोचना. So the mind thinks, but it does not know the word no. So if we instruct our mind to always give this intention to whatever is happening in your life, whenever it comes to an uncertainty or an uncertain experience or a future outcome, is just be in alignment with whatever happens in my life is happening for my best and highest interest. That intention changes the game, because then you are in alignment with what is as it is, and you have now instructed and roped in your beautiful partner, your mind, towards looking for what is positive in your life. Shouldn't this be the case for everybody? If fulfilling your inner purpose is being at one with the present moment, why should anybody feel the need to remove themselves from their current work or living situation? Being at one with what is doesn't mean you no longer initiate change or become incapable of taking action. But the motivation to take action comes from a deeper level, not from egoic wanting or fearing. Inner alignment with the present moment opens your consciousness and brings it into alignment with the whole, of which the present moment is an integral part. The whole, the totality of life, then acts through it. What do you mean by the whole? On the one hand, the whole compromises all that exists. It is the world or the cosmos, but all things in existence, from microbes to human beings to galaxies, are not really separate things or entities, but form part of a web of interconnected, multi-dimensional processes. There are two reasons why we don't see this unity, why we see things as separate. One is perception, which reduces reality to what is accessible to us through the small range of our senses, what we can see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. But when we perceive without interpreting or mental labeling, which means without adding thoughts to our perceptions, we can actually still the sense of deep connectedness underneath our perception of seemingly separate things. The other most serious reason for the illusion of separateness is compulsive thinking. It is when we are trapped in the incessant streams of compulsive thinking that the universe really disintegrates for us, and we lose the ability to sense the interconnectedness of all that exists. Thinking cuts reality up into lifeless fragments. Extremely unintelligent and destructive actions arises out of such a fragmented view of reality. However, there is an even deeper level to the whole than the interconnectedness of everything in existence. At that deeper level, all things are one. It is the source, the unmanifested one life. It is the timeless intelligence that manifests as a universe unfolding in time. The whole is made up of existence and being, the manifested and the unmanifested, the world and God. So when you become aligned with the whole, you become a conscious part of the interconnectedness of the whole and its purpose. The emergence of consciousness into this world. As a result, spontaneous, helpful occurrences, chance encounters, coincidences, and synchronistic events happen much more frequently. Carl Jung called synchronicity as a causal connecting principle. This means there is no causal connection between synchronistic events on the surface level of reality. It is an outer manifestation of an underlying intelligence behind the world of appearances and a deep connectedness that our mind cannot understand. But we can be conscious participants in the unfolding of that intelligence, the flowering consciousness. Nature exists in a state of unconscious oneness with the whole. This, for example, is why virtually no wild animals were killed in the tsunami disaster of 2004. Being more in touch with the totality than humans, they could sense the tsunami's approach long before it could be seen or heard, and so had time to withdraw to higher terrain. Perhaps even that is looking at it from a human perspective. They probably just found themselves moving to higher terrain. Doing this because of that is the mind's way of cutting up reality, whereas nature lies in unconscious oneness with the whole. I repeat, doing this because of that is the mind's way of cutting up reality, whereas nature lies in unconsciousness oneness with the whole. It is our purpose and destiny to bring a new dimension into this world by living in conscious oneness with the totality and conscious alignment with universal intelligence. Can the whole use the human mind to create things or bring about situations that are in alignment with this purpose? Yes. Whenever there is inspiration, which translates as in spirit, and enthusiasm, which means in God, there is a creative empowerment that goes far beyond what a mere person is actually capable of.